Hi, Coach Sean here. More on the fallout after divorcing or breaking up with a narcissist. Reputation warfare. Why the narcissist keeps calling you unstable years later. If you're dealing with a narcissistic spouse or ex, you need to understand this. They don't just leave the marriage. They leave with a story, and that story is designed to do two things: protect your image and destroy your credibility. So if you've been labeled unstable, an alcoholic, the abusive one, and you're sitting there thinking, how is this happening years later? I'm going to explain exactly what this is, how it works, and how you stop feeding it. This is reputation warfare, not conflict, not co-parenting tension, not two people who grew apart. This is a strategy where the narcissist tries to win socially, legally, and emotionally by painting you unreliable. Because if they can make people doubt your stability, your credibility collapses. And once credibility collapses, they can rewrite history, recruit allies, and walk away looking like the good one. And here's the part most people miss. This doesn't start after the divorce. It starts before the divorce, sometimes years before. Let's talk about how this setup actually happens. A narcissist doesn't want to be the bad guy or gal, so they begin building a file, sometimes literally, sometimes socially. They push you, provoke you, neglect you, isolate you, and drain you. And then they wait. They wait for your nervous system to do what a nervous system does under pressure. You react, you cry, you beg, you raise your voice, you plead, you panic, you rage, you fall apart. You might start coping in ways you never used to cope. And I want to say something clearly because this matters. A person who is loved does not get systematically dismantled. A committed partner doesn't watch you unravel and then use it as ammunition. A committed partner says, you're not okay. Let's get support. Let's protect our family. A narcissist does the exact opposite. They create the conditions and then they weaponize your response to the conditions. For women, one of the most common narratives is she's unstable, she drinks, she's the problem. And why does that one get used so often? Because it's socially effective. If they can make you look emotionally unreliable, then anything you say about them sounds like drama. If they can frame your exhaustion, your grief, your anxiety, your anger as instability, then they don't have to answer for what they did, their abuse. And yes, sometimes women do start drinking more under prolonged stress, not because they're weak, because they're lonely, isolated, being gaslit, carrying kids in the household, being neglected, being cheated on, feeling it in their body, feeling it in the bedroom, seeing the phone hiding, the disappearing empathy, and not being able to prove it. So what happens? You try to soothe yourself at night. Then your tolerance grows, then the stress grows, then you feel ashamed, then you feel more alone, and that cycle can become a coping loop. And if that's part of your story, I want you to hear me. Get support without shame. Because the goal here isn't to look perfect. The goal here is to get free. Now for men, when the narcissist is the woman, here's the narrative she often uses. He was controlling. He was abusive. He was a narcissist. Why? Because it flips the moral spotlight onto you and it gives her cover while she's doing what narcissists do, rewriting reality, spending recklessly, neglecting responsibilities, and recruiting people to validate her version. They want you to react. So here's how you don't. Because your reaction is the byproduct. Your reaction gives them screenshots, witness stories, court leverage, proof for their flying monkeys, and emotional supply. So when you send that long text, or when you call 15 times, when you show up heated, when you try to defend yourself to the wrong audience, they don't see that as pain. They see that as material. They will use it. So here's your roadmap, practical and clear. 1, become boring in writing. If you share kids, switch your mindset to, you are now writing for a judge, not your ex. Short, polite, factual, no emotion, no backstory, no diagnosis. 2, Stop explaining yourself to people who've already decided your worth. If someone has continued to misunderstanding you, your explanation becomes a performance where you lose credibility. 3, reduce live access. Phone calls and in-person arguments are where they can provoke you into a moment. Write communication down, and that slows everything down and protects you. 4, build your receipts quietly. Documentation is power. Dates, times, patterns, missing pickups, threats, financial discrepancies, lying under oath. Not to obsess, to be prepared. 5, tighten your circle. Reputation warfare thrives on your need to be believed by everyone. Let me free you. You don't need everyone to believe you. You need your truth, your peace, and the right support. 6, get your nervous system on your side, because if your body stays in flight or fight, you'll keep reacting, and reaction is how they keep access. Even something as simple as doing these things before you respond. Drink some water, wait 30 minutes, write your response in notes, remove all emotion and adjectives, send only what's necessary. That alone can change the game. Now let's talk a moment about flying monkeys. They recruit people who already don't like you, or conflict avoidant, need to feel included or benefited from siding with a narcissist. And yes, they will recruit their own children, especially in high conflict dynamics, because children are the ultimate credibility weapon. It's devastating, but it is also predictable. And the reason it works is simple. Most people don't understand covert abuse. They understand a visible bruise. They don't understand emotional erosion over years. So you have to stop trying to explain the whole relationship to people who can't conceptualize it. Instead, you hold yourself center. Let time reveal patterns, and you live clean, clear, and consistent, because the truth has one major advantage. It doesn't require acting. Now, why does it continue years later? Because it was never about the divorce. It was about control, image, and punishment. If they admit you're stable, strong, and telling the truth, then they'd have to confront what they did. So they replay the same record. Unstable, addicted, mentally, whatever, you're the problem. Not because it's accurate, but because it's useful. And here's the weird gift in that. When the smear campaign never changes, it exposes itself. Healthy people evolve. Truth evolves with facts. But propaganda repeats the same thing over and over and over again. So if you're in this right now, remember this. You don't beat a smear campaign by screaming louder. You beat it by becoming unshakable. You stop feeding the machine. You protect your nervous system. You document quietly. You communicate like it's all being read by someone objective. And you build a life so solid that their storyline can't stick. If you want help doing that, practically and emotionally, check the link in my bio. I have my Breaking the Trauma Bond guide if you need your head and heart to get on the same team again. And you can also book a one-on-one coaching session with me if you need a plan for boundaries, communication, and staying out of the traps. If this video hit home, subscribe, because this Fallout series is going to give you language to what you've lived through. See you in the next video.